And then it was like 15, 14, 13, 12, because like, you know, only the hardcore people who want to watch the whole thing would go all the way to the end, right? And then like the last one would have like 4 viewers. One of them was my nephew, right? They were all, if you weren't related to Rabbi Rebs, you weren't on the last one. It was like, you know, you gave up. But a lot of your people from your blog would watch the first one. Yeah. And then suddenly, like by the end of the summer, that was done. Yeah. They got to know who I was. Yeah. And they didn't like what I had to say. Yeah. I was not interesting to them. If I was wearing a miniskirt, I might be more interesting to them.
Not if you're a guy.
No. That's a good point. But they were not... They didn't find me...
It's true. You don't go over well with my friends.
No, I don't. And it's obvious. When you take, like, all the videos and then you post them on your Facebook, nobody ever does anything with them. They don't respond. Right. They have no interest.
We have totally different crowds.
Right. Yeah. But when I post mine to mine...
Yeah, they get a lot of response.
Yeah, they're all over it, and everybody's got something to say, right? Because my friends have always made up the bulk of the chat room, the bulk of the people in the fan club right now, right? I mean, it's always been that way, right? Yeah. Your friends can't stand me.
That's true.
Because I am too firm for them.
Yes.
And I'm too real for them. And they want their Judaism watered down and sugar-coated. And they can't stand when somebody comes along and calls a spade and says, this is what Judaism is, and what you're following is not. they have no room for that, and then they just tune me out.
Well, I've always had friends in like different segments of my life and never had the inclination to set them up together, to have them meet. So because of Facebook and because of my blog, now there's like one place where my friends can come. So normally I would never think to introduce you to my friends because I know that you guys would not hit it off.
Right.
But because of technology, you know, you're right there, right in the middle of it.
Right in the thick of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's also the fact that you're a strong personality, and some weeks I just want to deal with you strictly on the Torah talk, and that's it. It's like, let me just have like 6 to 8 rounds break.
Right. That was the third thing I was going to get into. Was that?
So it was all 3.
No, I didn't get to the third one.
Okay.
The one was like I was a fascination. I was like a honeymoon. It was like interesting to be, you know, Rabs, and you found him interesting. And like you burned out with that. Like you found out, like you got to the bottom of me, and like he's not interesting anymore. I'm moving on to like the next thing, right? And then the second thing was, what did I say? Was your friends did not like me.
Yeah.
And then the third thing was, as we started to have our differences and started fighting, I think like you went like, I don't give a shit about this fucking guy anymore. I don't want to hear from him. He's no longer going to be on my blog anymore. I don't give a shit about his Facebook. He can go fuck himself, and all that was basically.
Well, I didn't use that kind of language.
But that was what was in your head.
It was more like, it's like just like okay, let me just hold him at arm's length. And let's do the show, because the show is often great.
Oh, it's a great show. It's the best show on the internet.
Exactly.
Where are you going to find a fucking show like this on the goddamn internet? You're not. You're never going to find a show, right, that you actually learn serious, non-watered-down Torah, where you're going to see a fight between authentic Judaism and words of apicorsis, and at the same time you're going to hear about blowjobs, butt sex, and oh, you get better, you know. And
the door open here. And little kitties running around.
Black chicks who grab onto you and scratch. Like, where are you going to hear all that? There's no place on there's no place on TV. There's no place on the internet. There's no place that you're going to see all this, folks, in one shot. It's right here. And I personally believe that we should be on TV right now. I believe we should be on TV because there's nothing on TV that's like us. There's nothing close to us. You know, people say, oh, you know, I get close to it by watching, like, you know, The Tonight Show. Yeah, like, that's really funny compared to us. You ever watch The Tonight Show? It's like watered-down humor, right? We have, like, real funny here. This is the real funny. So that's what I have to say about that. So you're very good for a partner for me, by the way.
How so?
No, because I think we work very well together.
Right.
You know, I told you about this before, that we have some fans who like the fact that we're together.
Right.
You know, who might not be as interested in the show if we were separate. They might watch it a couple times a month, right? But they're like sucked in.
Right.
They can't get enough of it because they like the way we abuse each other and stuff. It's funny, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they tune in just to see your glasses and your look because it's just so off the wall.
So even Graham Russell and Russell Hitchcock from Air Supply, I mean, they had their differences and they went off in different directions, and so they soon realized that they had very little success on their own. It was only when they were singing together that they had success. So they reunited and went back on tour, and so that's why we're blessed with more than 30 years of Air Supply.
Maybe it's time to break up. If Air Supply is our model, our role model, maybe it's time to get out of this. So I just wanted to bring that up, that I think that the reason why I'm no longer like a hero on your blog is because of those three things.
I don't think you were ever a hero on my blog. You were a big character on my blog.
Big character on
and
the
you
blog.
still are, in that I will often take like 10 highlight clips from a show. And so not only
all your
will I,
highlight clips are about you going off on your agendas.
yeah, but you're in there.
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening, going like, "Oh, here we go." Here's a quick impression of one of Levy's 3-minute highlight clips. Right? It's Levy going, and this reminds me of a time that I was with a black girl, and I'm like, here we go, and that's the last you hear of me for the next 2 minutes, and until I come up at the end, I go, Levy, what does this have to do with Torah? And you go, it's very subtle, and then that's the end of the clip.
There's some truth to that.
Those are Levy's highlight clips.
But I did the bit about you almost drowning.
Yeah, I was
and the
surprised
bit
you put
about
that.
you moving to this ocean.
Yeah, I saw that you did that this last week. I said, well, why is Levy kissing my ass all of a sudden? You must want a favor. What do you think about me moving to the ocean?
I think you're running away from the community. I think you could make a life here.
Okay.
And I think it would be extremely difficult to find a place near the ocean.
What do you mean by find a place?
How would you afford a place by the ocean?
An apartment.
Yeah, how would you afford it?
Well, it's all based on the fact that I make more money somehow.
Yeah.
And of course, how am I going to make more money? When this show blows up, right? And
Right.
you're ready for it.
Exactly.
You know, you're keeping your expenses low now.
Yeah, I'm living close to the ground.
You're living close.
Winning hearts and minds.
Yeah, and then this thing is just going to blow up, and we're not going to know what to do with our money. Is that huh?
Exactly.
We're not going to know what to do with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Vishnu's in there. Hey, how's it going, Vishnu? All right, so that's my words about the first year.
Who's Vishnu?
That's he's a friend.
Sounds Indian.
Oh, you would know that, wouldn't you?
Hindu.
Yeah, I think that's where the word comes from. It has to do with his business takes that name for some reason.
So we've got a kosher wine store in Pico Robertson now, the Casket. It's by Schwartz's Bakery. I don't know if you've been spending a lot of time out there, because I know you're a real wine connoisseur.
No, but I go to Schwartz's a lot because the cute Seventh-day Adventist girl behind the counter.
Oh, right. How's that going?
I don't know. I haven't been in a while.
Okay, cool. So anything from last week?
No, but why did you bring that up?
Just came to my mind.
What I'm more interested in is they're at the end, right here on Robertson, just before Pico, at Alcott.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where the electronics store used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Where I used to take my computer to get repaired.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting in another kosher frozen yogurt place, as if the first 7 of them that were like within walking distance of that corner and went out of business weren't perhaps a sign that this isn't the business to go into. I was shocked when because they'd like been working on this building trying to remodel it, and they just put up the sign, we're going to be selling frozen yogurt. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How many of these places do we need? There was one next to the Kabbalah Center. Do you remember that one?
No.
No, it was Smoothies next to the Kabbalah Center, right? And
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, and what was really bizarre was they had a bookshelf in there
With Sforum.
with Sforum, and all the Sforum were the Zohar. It was like the Kabbalah, right? And I'm thinking, do what the Aris all did. When you sit down and you learn the Zohar, you gotta have a smoothie. Those two things just like go together, right? If you're holding by, let me tell you something, folks. If you're a trendy who's holding by smoothies, okay,
Yeah.
put the Zohar down. You're not ready for it, right? It's like you're not ready for it because someone who learns Zohar is beyond smoothies, okay? This is like smoothie and Zohar. They don't go to.